Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel where I strive to make the world a better place, one video at a time. Yeah. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's topic is, it is okay to be different. It is okay to be different. Whether it may be on your job, maybe you're an adult watching this and maybe it's on your job, or maybe you're a child watching this and it's in school, or whether it may be family, whether it may be you hanging out at the park, or you hanging out at the fitness center, or you hanging out at the skating rink, or you're hanging out at maybe a popular restaurant in your city or area. Whatever the case may be, whatever scenario you find yourself in, I want to let you know something. It is okay to be different. You see, many times you'll find that people, even those that may be close to you, family or friends that you grew up around with, whatever the case may be, sometimes they will choose to do things that probably aren't good for them and for the people that are around them, but still they choose to do it. For instance, maybe drug use or smoking, or extensive alcoholism use. Extensive alcohol use, or alcoholism, or whatever the case may be. Or getting involved in fights and getting in trouble with the law, robbing a place, or having an issue with someone, and you decide to use the force of a knife or a gun or something like that. These people you may end up finding yourself surrounded by. But I want to let you know that it is okay to be different. See those people who choose to maybe abuse the substance and abuse drugs. They may find themselves in a position where they begin to struggle to be able to find a job or keep a job. Their mind is all messed up. Themselves physically, they're messed up. They may overdose. The ones who are drinking an extensive amount of alcohol, they may find themselves getting involved in a car accident, and they may have taken someone's life because they chose to drink too much and they got in a car accident, or maybe they got a DUI. Maybe that person who was smoking, their lungs are just all types of messed up because they smoke for so long, and maybe they develop a certain disease or develop cancer or something like that. You will find yourself surrounded by these people, but realize that I just named some of the effects of the many effects. I named some of the effects that can happen when you choose to get involved in that kind of activity. But just because someone does it, or just because someone in your friend group or your crowd or that you were raised around, or maybe a family member, just because they do it does not mean that it's cool. Let me tell you something right now. Right is right even if no one is doing it, and wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it. Just because someone is doing it doesn't mean that you have to. Just because someone is doing it and a lot of people are looking at them and think that it's cool doesn't mean that is cool. You need to look at the effect of it, and if the effects are negative, maybe you shouldn't be involved in it. It's okay to be different. It is okay to be different. You don't have to fit in with the crowd. Especially the young people that's watching this. You don't have to fit in with the crowd. You don't have to be the ones that choose to make fun of other people. You don't have to be a part of the squad that chooses to vape in the school building and smoke in the school building and make fun of other children. You don't have to be in the friend group the ones that think it's cool to abuse drugs. You don't have to be in the friend group the ones who think it's cool to come to school high. You don't have to be in the friend group with the ones and they think it's cool to drink an excessive amount of alcohol and go to parties and whatnot. what now? Before you know it, you're going to get involved in something because you thought it was cool, and you're going to end up behind bars, or you're going to end up in the grave, or you're going to end up getting in an extensive amount of trouble with the law, with your teachers, with the principal, or with your parents, because you chose to do something that was not good for you, but rather it had a negative effect on you. Why? Because you didn't choose to be different. You thought it was cool to fit in with the crowd. Don't go down that route. It's hard. It's very hard. Let me tell you right now. Coming up in school, I had to choose to be different, and it was hard. There was times where I was alone. There was times where I was depressed. There was times where I experienced loneliness, but it all paid off. I see people I was raised around at a young age, and now they in juvenile, and now they in jail, or now they in prison. Or now they're struggling with this, struggling with that. Why? Because they chose to do things that it had a negative effect on them because they wanted to fit in with the crowd. I'm telling you right now, it pays off to be different. I'm telling you right now, when I was in high school, I chose to be different. I would hang out with teachers. Why? Because they're wise. And teaching is a good career. So I know that they have a good career, so they can share wisdom with me, how they got there, the choices they made, the decisions they made, and some of them have families, so they can give me advice on how to raise a family. So some of them are married, they give me advice on relationships. I hung around teachers. I would go to teachers' classrooms at the beginning of the day. I would go to teachers' classrooms before school started. I would go to teachers' classrooms at lunch. I would hang out in teachers' classrooms after school sometimes. Why? Because I wanted to get wisdom from them. I just didn't go hang out with the crowd. I just didn't go because I would end up getting myself in trouble. Instead, I decided to learn from people that were once at the age that I am at, and how the decisions they made at my age has now affected them later on in their life. It is okay to be different. You will find yourself far ahead of most of your peers if you choose to be different. Your maturity level will be much better. You'll be more responsible, more disciplined, more respectful, more prepared for life when you choose to be different. Yeah.